Hello, this is Ashee from Crafting with Ashee and welcome to this video. This is the card I have to share with you today. It's this lovely fun, I call him my dancing penguin card. And you can see here it just says season's greetings. And I really love this little penguin. I think he's just the darling cutest. So let me show you how I made it. So let's start the tutorial with some stamping. And I'm going to use up my scraps that I've got here of basic white as needed. So I'm going to start off by stamping with Memento Tuxedo Black. This is the stamp set we're going to be using. It's called Snowy Wonder. We're going to be using a variety of images here. And this of course has a matching die. We're going to be using that in a minute as well. So let's stamp our pengy. There's nothing better than a penguin. I have a friend who absolutely adores penguins, so I'm sure she's loving the stamp set. There we go, there's Pengy. And then I'm going to clean up as I go along. Just going to bring in my simple chamois here and clean up as I go. Okay, so that's Pengy. And then we want a hat for Pengy. Now last time I did a black hat. And I'm not sure I'm going to do that again. I think I'm going to give him a little red hat this time. Why not? It's Christmas. I know it's meant to be black. And normally meant to be for the snowman, but I do as I want to do. We're having a red hat. So there we go. Clean that. Put that back in its little home. Where's my, here's my little, whatever you want to call this, candy cane. There we are. So clean the candy cane up, and then I'm going to stamp some snowflakes. So I'm going to close this up as I've done with those two. I'm going to stamp some snowflakes. So this is Balmy Blue, and let's look for some snowflakes to stamp. I'm going to stamp 5, so I'm going to have 2 big ones and then 3 little ones. Well, there is a much bigger one than this. I'll say this is maybe the medium one, this one, and this is the small, but for our purposes here it's going to look like the bigger one. Didn't do that not doing that very well. Yep, that's better. Okay, put that back, close that up. Now we're just going to quickly stamp our sentiment. So we get this piece of scrap now. The sentiment's going to be the same, season's greetings. So I'm going to just line this up on my grid paper. That doesn't look very straight to me. Okay, seems straight. We'll cut it off if it's not straight. When we cut it, we'll make it straight. Down, hold. Lovely. Give that a clean. Put that back in its little home. And then I'm going to cut everything out now with these matching dies, and I'll see you in a second. Okay, so everything is cut out, and I just cut out our sentiment with my trimmer. So it's time to assemble our card. Our card base here is garden green, and it's the standard A6 card base. That's an A4 sheet cut in half and then folded in half. Then I've got a piece of basic white cardstock, and this is just going to go on the inside. So let's put this in place, and this is just, there we go. Try and get that as straight as possible for the inside. And then here on the outside I have a piece of the reindeer, I think it's the Reindeer Days designer series paper, and that's just going to go there on the front. You can see how cute this paper is on the other side as well. Thankfully we have 2 sheets of each, so we can use both sides, which is brilliant. So there we go. I love this bold red as well. Okay, so now I want to make a fishtail banner, and this is the take a bow designer series paper, and I'm going to use my trimmer to make my fishtail banner. So I'm going to cut this down to roughly where I want it. So let's cut this down a little bit, so it's roughly about, I don't know, so let's say 13.5 inches, 13.5 centimeters. There we go. That's scrap. Now I can't remember how much I made this. This is 5 centimeters, so I want to get this to half, so it's going to be roughly, I'll just make sure it's 5 centimeters. There it is, 5 centimeters now. So then I'm going to measure 2.5 centimeters, and I'm just going to cut this down as far as I want it, my fishtail banner to go, so maybe like that. So now you see I've got this cut in the center, exactly halfway along, and then I'm just going to cut from the point here to the center point here where my cut stops. You could do this with just getting the gunk off my scissors. You could do this with your trimmer, but I'm just going to go for freehand and do it from point to the center point, just like that. Really easy. And then I'm going to take some glue. I'm just going to use snail for this, and I'm going to put seal, I should rather say. I keep saying snail, even after all these years since we don't have snail anymore, and I've got seal all over my craft mat. Don't worry, it'll rub off later. And I'm going to just mat this on a little bit of gold foil sheet. You don't need much, as you can see. Try and get it straight, which is not what I've done here. So I'm just going to rip this up and try and get it straight. Something like that. I'm going to cut off the excess there, and we're going to do the same on this other side. Just give it this little gold border. It just gives it a something extra. And then I'm just going to chop off the excess like that. Isn't that pretty? Save that little piece there, you never know when it's going to come in handy. So removing the glue, rubbing the glue off did something very wonky to the camera, so I just had to straighten it up again and make the camera happy. So now we're ready to continue. So we've got our card base here, and then we've got our piece here, and this is just going to sit on top. So let's use some seal again. You can place this wherever you want. Without the gold, I think this wouldn't really pop so well against the background, but the gold does really help it pop. So let's put down a pengy. I need some dimensionals for him so we can pop him up properly. Let's have our penguin somewhere around there. Needs to be further across. There we go. And let's pop up our sentiment while we're at it. Okay. I'm not going to mount this on gold because I think the white will pop very well against the red anyway. But you could put it on a bit of gold if you so wished, but I think that looks cute as it is. Okay, let's get rid of these backings. They're a bane of my life. They get everywhere. however hard I try. I'm going to use some wet glue now because these pieces are just so small. I'm going to put the hat on my penguin, and then when I know where he is and where I've put it, I'm just going to use a dimensional here at the back of the hat, just so it doesn't, it's all nice and even like that. And then I'm going to put a baby dimensional at the bottom of my candy cane and a little bit of glue at the top. And I think I'm going to have it just like that. Lovely. Don't want his hand over it yet. That's better. And then we've got our snowflakes. So maybe we could have one there. And I'm just putting baby dimensionals on the back of these as well. As I go along, I want to see where I want to put them. Okay, I'm not going to need that anymore. I'm not really overthinking where I put the dimensionals. I mean, where I put the snowflakes. It's sort of just where I initially think they might look nice. I'm sort of trying to keep to some sort of visual triangle, sort of. Okay, so finishing touches, we are going to use some rhinestones. So just let me clear the decks a little bit here and bring in the rhinestones. Pokey tool, and I'm just going to put them in the centers of my snowflakes. Okay, so there we have our two cards. I hope you like them. Slightly different versions, but equally cute, I think. So I hope you like them. If you did, I'd be grateful if you could give it a thumbs up. Oh, before I continue, I just realised I forgot something. I'm going to use my markers, and I just want to fill in here his little beak and his tootsies with pumpkin pie marker. Just finishes them off, and I'm just going to use a real red marker here just to fill in the stripes of the candy cane like that. So that finishes them off really nicely. So thank you again, and until next time, enjoy being creative. Bye.